Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and welcome to the Game Exposed podcast. If you guys have a brief question on a narcissist and you want to submit it and have your question answered on the podcast, submit a brief question, you guys, no more than a paragraph because it won't be read. Text your questions to 917-636-1109 and text me your questions, and I'll try to get to as many questions as I can and answer them on the podcast, but please make it brief, no more than a paragraph, okay? 917-636-1109. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and today I want to do a quick podcast on how to test a narcissist, how to see if somebody really is narcissistic. Now, remember, narcissism is on a spectrum, okay? So some people could have a few narcissistic traits. You know, all human beings can be a little selfish from time to time. And then there's people that are extremely narcissistic that have zero empathy for somebody. So you have to take this all into consideration. But there's a couple of different ways that you could test how narcissistic somebody is, or if you're dealing with a very narcissistic person. So I'm going to give you a few ideas, all right? Now, a lot of people I've heard, across social media talk about the best way to test whether somebody is a narcissist is to just tell them no. And that doesn't always work, okay? And especially in the beginning, because in the beginning, you could tell a narcissist no. This could be during the love bombing stage, right? You could tell them no, and that narcissist may not necessarily, disappear or, give you a fight about it because it's during the love bombing stage. And I've actually seen this where, a narcissist, I've told them no, and they're like, that's okay, don't worry, I don't need this or that, blah, 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 blah. They try to be so kind and understanding in the beginning. And so no is not always the best way to determine whether somebody is a narcissist. Maybe later on in the relationship, after things have gotten comfortable and you say no to them, and you'll really see their colors come out. But in the beginning, saying no to a narcissist will not necessarily be the best test, because if they're after something big, like let's say they're after something financial or they're looking for a place to live, they might be okay with your no in thinking that, they could still manipulate you. It's still the early stages of the relationship. They haven't gotten you yet. So they figure they'll give it a little time. And if you say no to them about something that they're after, they may be like, oh, that's okay, this and that, because they figure they'll give it more time, more manipulation, and they'll be able to get whatever they're looking to get out of you if they're looking for something big, all right? So to test a narcissist by saying no does not always work, and especially in the beginning of the relationship. So I'm going to talk about a couple of ways to test if, somebody could be narcissistic. All right, number one, you could test if somebody's not, you could test to see how narcissistic somebody is by just telling them you're sick. Tell somebody that, you're with, maybe you're confused about them. Tell them you're not feeling good and see what kind of reaction you get out of them. See if they're really concerned about you. See if they check up on you. See if they offer to help in any way, maybe pick up medicine or, give you food or something like that, or serve you if you're sick. See how empathetic that person is when you're sick, because a lot of narcissists, when you're sick, what they might do, and especially the covert narcissist, they might say, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that and everything. And then they might, try to pretend to be empathetic, and they'll say, well, if you need anything, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. And you go to call them, all right? Let's say you call them in a couple days or something, and they don't pick up their phone and they ghost you. Why? Because they don't want to be there for you. This is one of the telltale or signs that you're dealing with a covert narcissist, is that they make promises that they don't keep, okay? So, and they will also show you fake empathy. But when you put them to the test and you do call upon the covert narcissist for some kind of help, what they do is they ghost you, they disappear, and then they come back days later with an excuse, okay? So the bottom line is they weren't there for you. They didn't have empathy for you. It was all an act. All right. Next way to test somebody, to see how narcissistic or if they're a narcissist, is tell them that you're going through something tough. Tell them you lost your job. And if you're dealing with an opportunist kind of narcissist who's after you for some kind of money, all you have to do is tell them that you're broke, okay? When you're dealing with a narcissist who's after a supply of money, maybe they're looking towards you because they see you have a good job. You tell them you lost your job. See what their response to that is. See if they're, understanding or willing to, help you maybe find another job or offer suggestions or just be emotionally, a support system for you. Narcissists don't want to hear about people's difficulties. When the chips are down, the narcissist gets going. So when you give them all these kind of scenarios, like you're sick, you lost your job, tell them that you're broke, you have no money, okay? That's when you're going to really be able to test somebody who's after something financial, okay? That's the best way to test somebody who could be a scammer or something like that, is to let them think you have nothing. That's why when you first meet somebody, don't be so open to tell them everything you have, like you want to impress them. Because you want somebody who's interested in you for you, not interested in you for what you have to offer them, because then you'll never really know how much they like you, they care about you. It all could be an act because of what you have. And if you ever lost that, down the road in life, that person would bail on you. Why? Because they weren't there for the right reasons. They were there for the wrong reasons. They were there for the material financial advantages of being with you because of what you had to offer financially. Maybe you had a big house. Maybe they look at you as starting a business for themselves, or they feel like, they're going to sponge off you or live off you. So you guys, this works, tell them you have no money, or obviously don't tell them what you have. Okay. But this is a good way to test them, is to let them know, hey, right now I'm going through a tough time. Hey, right now I have a lot of bills. Hey, right now I'm paying off my credit cards. I can't really do this. And then you'll really see how understanding they are. Okay. Like I said, a narcissist is not understanding. They may pretend, and they'll say, oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, this and that. And then all of a sudden they're going to disappear. They will disappear because they don't want to be around people that are down and out. They don't want to be around people going through a hard time. They don't want to be around sick people. They don't want to be around broke people. They don't want to be around people that, are going through tough times. Another way to test the narcissist is to tell them that you're feeling down about something. Maybe you're feeling sad, maybe you're feeling depressed, maybe you're feeling anxious, maybe it's about your family, maybe it's about your kids, and just see how much empathy that narcissist has for you. See, this is the biggest indicator of whether you're dealing with a narcissistic person, by the level of empathy that they have for you. Now, we know narcissists, they flip the blame. We know that they don't take accountability. We know that they gaslight and everything. But the number one way you're going to know whether somebody is narcissistic, very narcissistic, is by how much empathy they have for you. Now, remember, when you're doing all this, remember the timing of things. So if it's in the beginning of the relationship, you may have somebody who's after something big and they may be understanding. But if they feel that you're a dead end, let's say, they start up with you and they find that, you're telling them you're broke, maybe you lie to them, you tell them you're going to lose your house or something like that, and this person, disappears on you completely, then their intentions were bad. Their intentions were only to be with you when times are good, okay? So that's how you're going to know. A narcissist only wants to be around for the good times, the fun times. That's when the narcissist wants to be around. That's why they make such shitty parents, okay? Because kids are work, all right? Period, dot, end of story. Anybody who has kids knows that kids are work, and especially special needs kids. Having one special needs kid is like equal to, 6 kids. But in any event, kids are work, and narcissists don't want to do the work. They always put that parenting job on somebody else. Maybe they give their kids to their parents. Maybe they leave the kids with you and they don't come get the kids. All right. Or, they leave all the responsibility to other people. But the narcissistic parent wants to be around for the fun times, the graduation parties, the birthday parties, the going to Toys R Us, because maybe they're a big kid too, or going on vacations or eating out, or when the kid is doing well so they could brag on Facebook about their child, how wonderful they are, because it's a reflection on them and they want everybody to think that they're a great parent. But when the chips are down, when that kid is sick, when that kid needs something, when that kid is going through something, that narcissistic parent doesn't want to be bothered. Do not bother a narcissistic parent when you are going through something, because they don't want to be bothered. Period, dot, end of story. All right? So, you guys, it's like this. It's the same way when you test them. You're testing somebody in the beginning, and when you test them by seeing how much empathy they have for you, or how much they're willing to help you, even by their emotional support, being there to talk to you or offer you advice, or just having a friend to talk to on the phone. Notice who's there for you when you're down. That's how you're going to know whether this person is narcissistic or not. And the reason that all of this is important is because in life, you're going to have trials and tribulations, and there could be hard times. One of you could get sick, one of you could lose your job, and if you're with a narcissistic person, they're going to bail on you, or they're going to blame you and torture you. I've seen narcissists who are venomous to people that get sick. I've seen, like in my neighborhood, right? A couple, my neighbors, where, the wife got sick and the husband was very, very cruel to her. She was dying of cancer and he was cruel to her because he didn't want to deal with it. He couldn't deal with it. All right. So a lot of times narcissists can't deal with real tough problems. They can't deal with it. So they block it out. They avoid it. Sometimes they're very cruel to people going through things when they're sick and stuff. So this is a way you test them. You test them by letting them know you're sick. You test them by telling them you lost your job. You tell them that you don't have it. You're broke. You can't do these things. And you see what kind of reaction you get to that. You get from them. If they're understanding and they show you empathy, you have somebody who has empathy that, is a solid person. Now, remember what I said. Look at the timing of it. If it's in the beginning of the relationship, you have to be careful because they may still want something out of you and they may be showing you fake empathy. But if it's, you've been going out with them a while and you do these things, this is really where you're going to see, who's got you and who doesn't. All right. Another way you could test a narcissist is to ask them for help. Ask them for some kind of help. Can you give me a ride here? Can you help me with my house? Can you help me clean out my garage? Can you help me drive my kids somewhere? That's how you can know. Narcissists may do one thing for you and then disappear. And the reason that they may do one good thing is because they're doing it for appearances. And you see this in family, okay? They may do something nice for you so they can go back and tell the family that they did something nice for you. But then that's the one nice thing that they ever do for you, ever. And they're holding it above your head and throwing it in your face with the one thing that they ever did for you. When, family is supposed to be there for you, just like a serious partner is supposed to be there for you, not just one time, okay? Not just one time. And that's the covert narcissist. They'll be there for you maybe once or twice, if that, all right? But they don't want to be there, to help anybody out unless they're getting something out of it, unless they could use it as to praise themselves in front of other people that they did something for somebody, or unless they're getting something out of you, okay? Maybe it's financial, or maybe they're trying to use you for something else, then maybe they'll show you that fake empathy. But these are all ways you could test them. Another way to test the narcissist is to ask them for money, okay? Narcissists hate to give money. Oh my gosh. Narcissists are takers. They're not givers, okay? So the only time a narcissist will give money, and I've seen this, you guys, some people say narcissists will never give money, but I've actually seen it. Some narcissists will give money in the very beginning of a relationship to fool you, to make you think that they're not after something financial from you. This is a real good scammer. They may even give you a little bit, maybe they'll give you $100, right? But they know the pot at the end of the rainbow is going to pay them tenfold over that $100, all right? So you're fooled in the beginning because you say, oh, they're so nice. You know, they gave me $100 for something or blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're not after my money or something. It's the beginning stages. They're trying to pretend that they're not after money. And this is the only reason that narcissist is giving you any kind of money is because it's an investment to bigger money down the road that you're going to offer them. Maybe they're looking for a place to live, okay? And they don't want to look like a freeloader. Or they don't want you to think that, they're after something from you, like living in your house or something. So they pretend like they're paying their way, or they give you a little bit of money. But later on, if they ever got in your house, guess what? They wouldn't give you a dime towards any of the bills, all right? But they're going to portray the opposite in the beginning and pretend like, they're not somebody that's looking for money, or they even gave you money. This is how they fool you, okay? That's why you got to look deep into somebody to really see what their intent is and what they're after. So the bottom line is, you guys, you want to really, really test somebody. These are the way to test them. Test them when you're down, and make sure, like I said, if it's the beginning stages, that narcissist may try to fool you, okay? And I've had this happen. So like in the beginning stages of a relationship, I may have been sick and everything, and that narcissist was very accommodating, very nice, and, was willing to, be very helpful and emotionally supportive and everything like that. But as time went by, when we got to month 4, month 5, they turned into a different person, okay? They turned into a different person where they turned off and they became cold, all right? That's why I say you got to look at the timing of things. Usually after I'm going to just throw this out, all right? And remember, this is a general thing. Usually after about month 5, okay, that's when the narcissist mask in general will start to slip, okay, depending on what that narcissist is after. If that narcissist is after something big, the mask will stay on longer. Some real good scammers can keep a mask on for a year, okay, but usually, that's the longest I've ever seen or heard about somebody being able to put on the act. Usually within 3 to 6 months, that mask starts to fall, okay? It's early. Sorry, you guys. That mask starts to fall, usually between 3 and 6 months. And that's when you're going to test them. And that's when you're going to see, really, is this person narcissistic where they're self-absorbed and they don't want to give of themselves? Or, you're going to test them by being down, okay? You're going to let them know, hey, I'm not feeling good. I got a headache, or I might need to go to the doctor. And you're going to see if that narcissist disappears on you. You're going to see if that narcissist follows up to see how you are, okay? You're going to see if that narcissist offers help to you. All of these are signs of somebody who has empathy for you when you're going through something. And I saw this when my son was sick. I saw who was there for me and who wasn't. Man, that really showed me when I was sitting in a hospital by myself with, a nonverbal kid with autism. And I saw that I was the only one in that hospital all night long with that kid. It really showed me, and people, hospital workers that were there said to me, where are the other people? Where's the other kid's family? And I just raised my hand like they're not here. Okay. That really shows you who has empathy and who doesn't for somebody, okay? Who has empathy and who doesn't. And the people that don't have empathy won't be there for you. And those are the narcissists. Those are the people that don't want to be bothered, don't want to be inconvenienced, don't want to be there for you, don't want to hear when you call them up on the phone, when you're going through anxiety or you're going through depression or you're dealing with a sick kid. They don't want to hear it because they're narcissistic and self-absorbed, okay? And yes, this is directed towards certain people. And how do I know? Because I've lived it all across the board, all right? So this is how you're going to test who's got you and who doesn't. And the reason this is important, you guys, is like I said, life is hard, all right? It may not be hard when you're young, but as you get older, life gets harder because you can't do the things that you used to be able to do. And so you do want a life companion, if it's meant to be. It's nice to have a life companion and somebody to lean on. Let's say you get sick, you lose your job, you need help with the children. You want somebody that is a support, not somebody who is selfish on their phone or disappears or goes off and does whatever selfish thing they want to do and is not there for you, okay? That's when you're in a situation where you could be married to a very selfish narcissist, and guess what? You're basically alone raising the kids, doing everything for the kids. And you know what all this is going to do? This is going to tire you out. This is going to wear upon your health. This is going to wear you down, okay? This is how we say narcissists destroy you and kill you, because all the responsibility is going to fall on you. All that pressure is going to fall on you. So you want somebody that is a support to you, okay? That's the whole reason you should want to be in a relationship or a long-term relationship with somebody, is to know that this person is your support. They've got your back the way you've got their back. So what are you going to do, you guys? You're going to test them. You're going to test them, all right? You're not going to test them in the first 3 months, all right? Because they're going to try to fool you. It's like when you tell them no in the first 3 months, they might be like, oh, that's okay, because they still think they can fool you. You're going to wait till down the road, maybe 4 to 6 months, and then you're going to hit them with how you're not feeling well, you lost your job, or you tell them you're broke, or you tell them you're feeling down, and you just see whether they dodge you or they're there for you, okay? And being there for you is more than just one conversation, by the way, okay? Like a covert narcissist, they'll maybe be on the phone with you if you're down or something for a half hour or whatever. But guess what? That's the last time you'll ever hear from that covert narcissist, because they were put on the spot when you were telling them about whatever you were going through. And then all of a sudden, they don't want to be bothered. When you call them again, they're going to make excuses. Oh, I got to work. Or they just don't pick up their phone when they see your number because they're not there for you. But then they'll go around and tell everybody how they were there for you for that one time they were there for you. Okay? But they, that's how they fool people. That's how covert narcissists fool people, because they pretend to be empathetic. They pretend to be there for people, but they're not really there for you. Okay? They may have been there for you once, twice maximum, and then that's it. That's it. And then they disappear, and then they play the dumb card, okay? This is what they do, all right? I know these people like the back of the hand, all right? Because I've had to deal with them all my life. And they play the dumb card and everything like that. Why is all this? Because they don't want to be bothered. They're selfish. They don't care about your problems. And some of them are actually flat out sadistic and jealous and want to see you suffer because they're miserable people. And misery loves company. company. So they don't want to be there to support you because they're so miserable that they thrive on seeing other people miserable. It makes them feel better. They are truly demons that have evil intent, that don't have, the Holy Spirit within them, or goodness within them, or kindness within them to people that are down, okay? So you're going to test these people to see, whether they got you or not, by seeing if they'll be there for you, and they have nothing to gain by being there for you, but they're doing it by the kindness of their heart, that they have empathy. That's how you're going to know, by them doing it for you and they have nothing to gain. That's how you're going to know whether this person has empathy for you and is not narcissistic, okay? So I hope that helps you guys. I got to run. If it does, hit the subscribe button. Share the podcast, you guys. Don't forget, subscribe on my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. And also, you guys, check me out on Instagram at the Game Exposed, or the Game EXP rather. It's the Game EXP 123 on Instagram. And have a great day, you guys. Have a great Memorial Day. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at the Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, the Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.